Hey everybody, it's your man James, Mr. Quentin Treasures, back again with some more video action for you. It's almost Halloween, so I thought I'd do a little something fun to get us all in the spirit. And this is another little clipped video from a recent live stream I did. In this one, I'm going to be talking about my first experience with Batman comics. And the very first Batman-related comic I ever read was kind of a new experience for me at the time, and so I thought you guys would enjoy checking that out. And again, like I said, he's a character that certainly fits in with the Halloween theme when you think about it. So definitely want to check this out. It's a little fun thing I thought I'd do to just to get you in the Halloweeny spirit. And I want to thank you all again for joining me today. And just remind you, if you like what you hear here, drop a like down there so you can help out the algorithms. And if you got any comments or anything you want to say, drop them down there below. Let me know what you think about the issue I talked about or anything else. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed so you don't miss any of the content that I'm putting out around here on the regular. And if you have subscribed, share out some links and let's bring in some new blood, because I'm always here for having more people than less. So again, I want to thank you all for joining me today. I hope you have fun checking this out, get a little something fun out of it, and I will be back soon with more stuff. And until next time, take care. Let me go ahead and bring up my pick here. This is the one. This was the very first Batman comic that I ever read. The first Batman-related comic ever in the history of me reading comics was. And here it is, World's Finest, number 260. This is the one that got me the first one here, and I'll just big it up here. I love this image right here by Rich Buckler. Just great stuff. You got Superman in peril to some aliens, and you got Batman flying in. He's literally flying, and he says, if Batman has to fly to save Superman, then by heaven, I'll fly. And it's just a great, like just like a what the kind of image. Like, Batman doesn't fly. How is he flying? So right there from Jump Street, I was intrigued because you're seeing Batman do something you've never seen before.
What year was this, Jim?
This is from 1979.
Wow.
1979, yep.
You still have a copy of that?
No, I don't. I've been trying to find one that's reasonably priced and also in a nice condition, because I don't want to get like just some beat up copy. Gotcha. So I do want to get this again at some point. But and here's the other thing too, is I looked for it for like a CGC graded one, the graded comics, and I can't seem to find one. It's like they got the two issues before this, and they got the 2 issues after this one in CGC I found, but they don't have this one. I just thought that was kind of strange. At number 260, for whatever reason, nobody's got that graded. Just kind of funny. But here's the splash page right here from the start of the story. And you can see right here, here's Jimmy Olsen shooting at Batman with Superman in peril behind him, and he goes, "Start shooting, Jimmy Olsen, and don't miss." The Batman protected Superman from Jimmy Olsen. Don't say it's impossible until you read what may be the strangest adventure ever shared by the Man of Steel and the Caped Crusader, the 4 billion Supermen of Earth. And it's written by the late great Denny O'Neil, by the man who's best known for saving Batman from his campy 60s version when he later took on stories and then later editorship in the 80s. So just great stuff here. And what I liked about this story is Batman uses his head to win, to outfox these aliens. Because what happens is these aliens come to Earth and they think they're the best at everything until they see Superman. And Superman, of course, has powers far beyond mere Earthmen. And so they try to steal his powers because, like, hey, he does something better than we can do. That can't be allowed to stand. We got to take your power and make it part of us. So now we're the best again. And so what Batman does is he knows he can't overpower the aliens physically. So he says, I'm going to outsmart him. And what he does is he uses like basically Hollywood magic to make them think that all people on Earth have Superman's powers. So he's not special. He's just typical of the Earthman. And that's what he does. And so like you see here with Jimmy shooting him, what he did is he had a gun and he shot out a window and to the aliens so they could see it was a gun. Then he gave Jimmy the gun and said, okay, shoot me. And he shoots him and nothing happens because they're blanks. Only the first shot was real. And then he has Lois Lane there and he hands her a piece of metal. Looks like a steel bar, but it's actually some weak metal. And she bends it like Superman would bend solid steel. And then Batman has, you don't see it in the story, but he has these lines on him. And so he has, and as far as flying, guys, Everybody on Earth can fly. Just watch this. And he jumps out a window and he starts swinging around and flying, and he swings back in and it looks like he's flying, but he's actually hooked up the wires that make it look that way, and the aliens fall for it. Hollywood movie magic outsmarts the aliens, and I just thought that was a great way of showcasing Batman as the intellectual hero that he is. Because we've always seen a lot of great stuff with Batman on the streets, busting heads and kicking ass, and he's the greatest combat fighter ever and all that stuff. But we don't really see him using his logic and his reason as much in more modern stuff today. And I like this story for that, because it showed Batman using his head to defeat the foe rather than his fists. And it was just a great story. I really loved it. And it marked my love for Batman forever, basically, after that. So what do you guys think?
Can I ask you something, Jim? Where did you first see this issue at?
I got it from a kid. I mean, as you well know, because you're the one that got me in. It was that kid I did the trading with at school, and he had some stuff that he had for trade, and I didn't have any stuff to trade, but I had my lunch money, and so I bought some stuff from him. And one of the books I bought from him was this issue. And again, just because of that cover of seeing Batman flying, and just like, Batman doesn't fly. I've watched the TV show. I've watched the cartoons. I know he doesn't fly. How is Batman flying?
What are these going for on eBay?
It depends, on the the condition and whatnot. But like, if you want high grade, it probably would cost you like maybe around like $10, maybe $15 if you got really high grade for like a raw copy. But if you want it graded, it'd probably be a lot more. But again, like I said, I haven't seen any graded copies of this on eBay or anywhere else ever. So I mean, as far as I know, there's like no graded copies, and I don't know why.
So let me give you so I'm the guy, right? So the CGC graded numbers, are you ready? So there's only 36 graded copies at all.
Wow.
And that grade is from 5.5 to 9.8. Anything above 9, which would be very fine to near mint, there are 7, 16, 23, 26. So 26 of the 36 are a 9 or higher, but only 3 are 9.8. I would think that this is not a super key issue or anything, hence the reason there's such a low volume of them. And I think that this is that category, James, you and I've talked about a little bit, where I feel like 20 years from now, people will regret not getting their near mint versions graded, because the deterioration, the white will start to decolor, it'll start to brown. And I don't care how many bags and boards and stuff you change, eventually you start to get some of that. And I think that's what's going to happen, is there's going to be this mad run on some of these high grade. That's what we see in the sports card people who are interested in comics, because they understand the numbers are so minuscule on the comic book side. They look at it over the long haul. So these guys that are in their 30s dropping thousands of dollars at shows on books is because they're looking at it because of in the sports card world, these numbers are just shockingly low. So this would be a hard one to find graded, but I think you probably could find a reasonably high grade copy, probably definitely for $10-$20. I wouldn't think it's
that's good information, Pops.
Sure.
Yeah, that's really good.
Okay, well, that was my first experience with the Batman in comics.